fans, for the players, for all the news. Firebirds Weekly. This week's guest is Duane Brown.
Welcome to Firebirds Weekly, Season 2, Episode 15. We are here live on a Monday night from IHOP in Clifton Park, and they've been amazing to help us get set up and to do whatever we needed to get up here. Tonight's guest is somebody we had on, I think, the first game last year after one of our post games, and finally we're getting him here for our Firebirds Weekly. Tonight's guest is DV3, the Offensive Player of the Year in 2025, Duane Brown. Duane, how are we doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We love to see you. So, you guys just came back from Oregon, a big win against the Lightning. Talk about the game and being able to come back with a win and stay undefeated.
It was good. Anytime you can get on the road, especially like a long trip like that, you want to just be able to get the job done. We started off slow in the first half, obviously. I mean, anybody watching the game could tell by that, but we were able to get it going, come home with the W, and that's really all we're looking to do when we get on them long trips.
Just talk about, in the second half. I mean, it seems like, it was this way last year a little bit too. It seems like second half, you kind of get it together, defense starts doing their thing. You guys obviously are doing your thing. Just talk about being a second half team and, what you guys talk about at halftime to, kind of get going, when you have a slow start.
Yeah. It's something that we definitely have, like, owned, but I feel like it can hurt us sometimes too. So we're definitely trying to get over that slow start. But shoot, coach will just come into the locker room, let us know, and we know it ourselves as well. Like, some games you just know you shouldn't be tied up or only up a touchdown going into halftime. Like, you're just not satisfied with that result. So when we go into that halftime, it's just a period for us to collect ourselves, talk about what we need to talk about, fix the mistakes we're making, and just be able to come out and execute at a high pace. And we do that, like, where we are able to come out and do that. But I mean, if we can put a full game together one of these times, it'll be scary for a lot of teams.
do you think it has something to do with the travel, or maybe an arena that's lacking some energy? Do you think that has something to do with it?
I want to say sometimes it definitely can, because last year, like, we had a tough travel when we went to Salina. Like, it was just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And
that was a long trip.
Yeah, like, some of us had drove down, some of us had flown down, but it's crazy because the guys that drove actually beat the guys that flew down because they had layovers and there was so much going on with their flights. So it was a long just travel for both parties that had to go to Salina. And we started slow in that game, obviously, but woke up in the second half, ended up beating them by, I don't know, what was it, 20 or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So I will say travel definitely may have an effect with that, just because of it just be long days and stuff. But if we want to make another run like we did last year, we're gonna have to overcome that stuff.
And you got another long trip this week. You're went out to Oregon, come back to Albany, go back out to Everett, Washington to play the Wolfpack.
Yeah, seems like we'll be taking the same route we did because we flew from Boston to Seattle, so I don't see them changing. I mean,
that makes the most sense. Yeah. Just talk about, Josh. I think he's due for 6 touchdowns again. Just talk about him, in his, third game now. And it really seems like he's doing a nice job managing everything and being able to make plays. And obviously you and Isaiah and Tyrese and all those guys, you guys, Darian, are making it look easy for him.
Of course. I mean, and when you got guys like DT, Tyrese, and Zay who, they're playmakers. You got guys like that. It makes Josh's job very easy. I mean, he's very talented. He's caught on very quickly as a rookie. He wants to learn. He wants to be thrown in those positions where it's like, let me show you what I can do. And he's been doing it game after game. So, but we definitely try to make his job a little easier. And I mean, he's doing his job, but just by putting the ball where it needs to be.
Well, one of the touchdowns we wanted to show, we have a clip of it, and we want you to talk about it afterwards. It's a little hard to see because the camera's kind of far away. Hometown Network is, using these AI cameras, and it's a pretty good job. It's a definitely, an interesting broadcast. It's still trying to catch up with the speed of the arena game. But if people that are watching, on Facebook or YouTube or any of the places, take a look at the back corner of the end zone after Duane catches this touchdown pass. Watch the Oregon defender delete from life.
Weekend of the month of April already. Second down for, that should be a first down for Albany. Going towards the end zone and touchdown Albany. That is Duane Brown again.
Another player over the wall. So you're literally going to celebrate with a teammate, and there goes a defender flying over the wall. You said you obviously you didn't see it until afterwards. When you see that clip and you see the defender literally, in another dimension. Tell me what when you see that clip, what that feels like, and that play.
It just brings to my head, it's arena football. It's just anytime a guy goes over the wall and it's that dramatic and crazy, it's all you thinking is, man, this game is crazy. It's arena football. I don't know if you guys caught either during the special teams. I think it was during we were getting the ball on kick return. Trayvon Shorts and another one of our guys, they had like a little double team going on block, and they ended up putting a guy over the wall.
Yeah,
I did not see that.
Yeah, I think
you see that one. We should have clipped that one.
Yeah, I think Trayvon said he had to put him in a garbage can or something like that.
Almost, yeah, basically. So it's like this game. When you see stuff like that, it's crazy, man. Anytime you see someone go over that wall.
I mean, it's just like the first game. They go and they think they caught a touchdown, and you turn around and Marcus is coming out with it for an interception. It's like it's a crazy game with the wall.
That clip ended up going viral. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, it's got last time I looked, I think it definitely has 1 million. It may have 1.5 million at this point. It's pretty significant.
Crazy, yeah. But that's all, and it puts the Albany name out there. Like, look how awesome the Firebirds are doing, and all that. So just, like I said, so to kind of end up on that part of it, let's, talk about, playing the Wolfpack. I mean, they have not had a great start to the season. I think they only scored 3 points last week. But just, kind of talk about going in there, knowing that, you're going to have to put together 60 minutes, to continue to do what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, any team in this league is capable of getting a win, if the other team doesn't show up, obviously. So I mean, we're going to have to get through this long travel again, obviously, and go put together a good 60 minutes, like you said. But they got good athletes as well. Mm-hmm. So, you never want to go into a game just underestimating your team, the team against you. But, shoot, if we do what we're capable of doing, I don't see us having any problem with them.
Another question I wanted to ask, and I this will be the last one, I think, for this. What was it like last week, in Oregon, playing against guys that were in camp with you? Donovan Ollie, was kind of, I think, the main,
he had a great game, and I was happy for him.
Yeah, and Freddie Boothloy's out there now. I think Rob McCoy is out there now. Yeah. What was it like to, go out there, obviously, reconnect with those guys, even after they'd been here just a few weeks ago, but then to, be playing them, they're in a different uniform.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of that both half of the sad happy, just because, especially Rob, he was with us for a while, obviously being with us all the time last year. So you hate to see guys go, but that's the business in this game. So it was cool seeing them over there. Big shout out to Ollie because he had a big game. Happy for him. You're just happy to see any of the guys you play with. Once you call them brothers, once you get that bond on the team, it's like you don't ever lose that. So
I have a last question for this part of it.
We'll get there eventually.
No.
So this is good.
So outside of obviously, going out to Oregon and winning, other than winning the game, what is the highlight for you when you go on a long road trip like that? And you can't say coming home either.
That's what I wanted to say. Just being with the guys, because I mean that's all you're with for those. Shoot, I think we traveled 12 hours yesterday coming home. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you're with the guys, it's just you guys are in that together. You're going through all that stuff together. So just making those little memories with the guys. Seeing everything too, like seeing the mountain when we're on the plane, and I'm driving over these huge mountains, and it's like snow-covered mountains. It's awesome. So.
Yeah, I remember coming in from when I came into Phoenix a handful of years. No, yeah, it was Phoenix. You swear it was fake. How different it looks.
Yeah, we did the same thing. We flew to Las Vegas last year, and it was like you're going over that in like Arizona, and you're like, it looks like a movie set.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
it doesn't look real, but yeah,
it doesn't look real at all. And I'm scared. Like, I hate going up in them planes, man. I don't like.
So you're not a window seat guy?
No, I'm not anywhere on a plane type thing. But I do it. Like, obviously, we travel a lot, so you got to get over that. But my first couple times on a plane, it was not for me.
Holding on to the seats like this.
So when was the first time you flew? Was it the first time with the Firebirds, or is it more something on the personal side of things?
Yeah, I want to say it was a vacation.
Yeah.
I want to say down to my uncle's in Orlando.
Okay.
I believe that.
There you go.
Was the first time flying.
Yeah, that was the same as me. Okay, so we wanted to, like I said, like we do, every week of the show, we try to talk when we talk to new guys or we talk to guys that we haven't talked to before. We want to get an idea of where they came from, So we'll do the same, obviously, with you. Talk about growing up and how you got involved in football and who was kind of the person, a parent, a coach, somebody that really was like pushed you towards the game.
Well, growing up, me and my cousin Maurice, we were always playing football, just in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, wherever we could go and find football, like we were playing it, because we were just outside all the time. So like we were just running around, being kids. We did a lot of stuff together too. I won't even say it was just football. Like I love basketball just as much as I love football. And I thought at one point I was gonna be a professional basketball player, but football just ended up being that. When you just know, it's like, oh, this is for me. So I'd say my cousin, I grew up with, he's basically like my older brother. His name's Trey. We'd be playing sports too. Like me, him, and Maurice, we would be just going around, whether it was going to play pickup basketball games or everyone's meeting over here for tackle football, stuff like that. And he's like 2 grades older than me, so I'm looking up to him. I'm always watching him do what he does, and he was very skilled. He actually played at Pitt for a little bit, had a stint with the Steelers for their rookie camp and a little preseason. So, just watching him go through this, like the process of it, midget football, high school, middle school, I was just always watching him, and I just loved football. I loved watching Steelers football, and around my time, I'm watching good Steelers football.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger. I'm watching the good stuff. So,
because they're a Bills fan. How about the Steelers at that point?
Yeah. Hey, listen, we were in the toilet during that time, and now we're
in the toilet. Yeah. And I would say the Bills aren't too bad, but I feel like you guys could definitely.
It's bad for my health. I know that.
Yeah, because you would think you guys had a team.
I know.
And every year it's just something happens. But
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes.
Not this year. It was our own fault this year.
Yes.
But talk about growing up near Pittsburgh. So I'm sure you hear the history of Western Pennsylvania football is insane.
Yeah.
They even used it for the campaign for the draft this year because talking about Fernando Mendoza and all that. What was it like growing up near Pittsburgh? To not only watch football, obviously the Steelers, but then to play football in Western Pennsylvania.
It was awesome just because, like you said, there's a lot of good football out there, guys that play football. You got some legends out there. So just being out there and you're competing, like the competition out there, it's big, man. So like I played in the Whippeal. It's called the Whippeal, like my little section. You come to just know all these guys because it's not a huge like a huge area. So you come to learn these guys, whether it's through AAU basketball, 7-on-7 football, and so like you build relationships with them, and maybe you end up playing them and stuff like that. But like we all keep tabs on each other, we're all pushing each other, stuff like that. So
was Pennsylvania going to be home no matter what, or did the opportunity kind of have you stay in Pennsylvania, or there's other opportunities, or you felt like Pennsylvania was the place you needed to be?
For like college,
yeah.
I didn't want to leave home or be away from my family, but I just, with my situation coming out of high school, I had my ACL tear. I had lost a little interest in some schools, but for IUP being D2, like they stuck with me. I had good conversations with them when I would go up on my visit. It felt like a good place for me at the time.
Yeah,
so.
It's relationship and trust, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was 40 minutes from the house, not even. Sometimes, I feel like I could get there from my mom's house in 30 minutes.
Yep.
So it was right there, but it was far enough, you know. And we had, going into my freshman year, we had a team up there. Man, I'm telling you, we had some guys up there. And we ended up winning the PSAC championship, went to the Final Four, ended up losing to West Florida, but West Florida, that was a good team. I think they ended up winning it all. So, But yeah, I was comfortable there, and I feel like that's important when you're making those type of decisions.
One of the interesting things, when we've talked to guys, during this time we've been doing the podcast, everybody's got their own story. A lot of these guys are young enough where it was like, oh, COVID screwed everything up, and I think you're somebody similar when you were in school because COVID kind of ran into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, other guys, it's like, oh, they didn't maybe do so great in school, so they, didn't have the full out thing. You have an, an injury, things like that. Those kind of things, though, bring your story even, you know what I mean? Like, that's even more of the story. Like,
Yeah.
I was able to persevere after a big injury, to do these things, even if you didn't go to, the big Power 4 schools or something like that. Being able to do that for yourself.
Yeah, it adds a little seasoning to your story for sure. And like with me, like I said, I had a little ACL injury in high school, and I mean, this was at the time I was getting a good interest. Like I feel like at the peak of my high school career, just because I was coming off a big sophomore season, had a great junior season as well. Actually, I wasn't taking, like, I wasn't really in the weight room. I wasn't doing the right things, So I mean, that came to bite me a little bit. And honestly, I mean, it could have been a blessing in disguise. I used to say that all the time because like I said, I wasn't doing the right thing. So tearing my ACL and stuff like that, it made me like, okay, I need to lock in with my recovery, with like working out and stuff, start taking care of my body. Like, I need to get serious with this stuff if I want to have a career with this football.
Right, it can go away just as quick as the injury happened.
Exactly. So like, it made me lock in a sense to where it's like, okay, we need to start taking care of our body. We need to get in that weight room. And also, like, where I went to high school, I had a coach. His name was John Skiba. This guy, he took me under his wing. He did so much for me, just trying to guide me and show me, like, you got to start taking care of yourself. Like, he's trying to get me to come in and lift with him before school and stuff. And some mornings I'm like, man, I'm not. We already got to wake up at 6:30, 6 a.m. I'm not waking up at 5 just to go lift. But like, I hated that I had that mindset. But it's like, now I see, like, it could have benefited me so much. Just them extra little sessions in the weight room and stuff like
this
that.
is too because, and this is another thing we've talked to. We have a couple of guys that we talked to last year that were like teachers, and they're in school, and they work with kids. And you're going to be doing something very similar. You're putting out a training thing, and I think it's a great thing for these kids, to be able to work with you and be like, not just on the field stuff. Obviously, they know what you can do on the field. They've seen it, but like, hey, off the field, like, hey, this is what I did when I was a kid. I wasn't fully like 100% in, and then I realized with good coaching and good people that you got to be 100% in.
Exactly.
And so that's what you're kind of doing with your speed and agility training sessions. Trying to get some of these kids. Talk about being able to do something like that, working with the kids. I mean, I'm from 5 to I saw the thing online, and we were like, what about the preschoolers? I teach middle school. I get it. But just talk about being able to do some work with kids that want to get better, learn the game, and just have that person to be like, hey man, like, you got this talent, use it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like something that I wanted to include with. I didn't want it to be just training. Like, I don't want them to think you're just coming here, we're gonna run around for a little bit, and now be that. Because and also, like, I have this to give props to my big brother. I mentioned Trey, because he trains back home, and I'll come and tag along. Like, he's training his athletes, but I'll come and tag along and just be around, and I'll work with them and stuff. But he's giving them life. Like, he's not just giving them receiver drills and speed and stuff. He's giving them. We're talking about real stuff,
right?
And that's why I mentioned on the flyer, like, I wanted to talk more than just ball. Like, I want to talk the transition from high school to college, college to pros. Like, what it's gonna be like, what you're gonna go through and stuff, like, or what I've been through. Like,
sure,
I can just tell them like what I've been through and my experiences.
No, it's important because mom and dad, or aunt or uncles, or grandpa and grandma, that doesn't register with the athlete. Having somebody that is like within,
they've done it,
right. And not only that, you're talking a 5-10 year gap. That's it.
Right.
Like, and you're still putting the pads on. You know what I mean? So I had earlier today. I saw that you put it in the Flock Nation. I saw that DT had made some comments on it. Is that something you guys are sort of doing together, not officially? I don't want to throw him into it without.
So DT, he's been on this and he's got his thing going.
Yeah,
man. He does a great job with that stuff back in Youngstown. Where, I mean,
Yep.
he's got it packed down. And before I honestly should have went to bro before I dropped my stuff because he was doing it a little bit last year as well. So like he's got his stuff going too, which is big. But we actually were talking when I had posted it because I forgot to mention it to him before I had posted it. But we were talking about doing a collab and stuff.
That's awesome.
I mean, I think it would be great because he has so much knowledge with that stuff. And I feel like I can bring my little knowledge to it, and I can learn from him as well because, like I said, he's been doing this stuff. And if this is something I want to do more of or take serious, it's like it'd be awesome to learn from him.
No, for sure. He's a great guy. I mean, he's passionate about everything he does. I'm sure he's a phenomenal 100%. Coach when he's out there pushing those kids. I'm sure he doesn't let them off the hook easy either.
No, man, he don't let us off the hook. So I know he's not gonna give no mercy to those kids, man. But that's who he is. Like you said, he's very passionate about it, and that's something you want because he's there for a reason. He cares about it. He's not just there trying to pass time, get it over with. So those are the type of people you want in your corner for sure.
No doubt about it.
So tell me a little bit about the recruiting process. To stay close to home, and then you go through and you do a lot of great things at IUP. Is that IUP, right? Yes, IUP, okay. Yep. Yeah. And then, talk about trying to get to the next level and what that entailed.
So, IUP, like I said, I went up there and I also went up with one of my hometown guys. We had talked about it because he had the same, almost like the same interests as I had. So we ended up going to IUP together and we were like, there was only 3 freshmen on that team that didn't get redshirted and played. And it was me, him, and a lineman. And it was crazy because we were roommates and everything. We played the same position. That was my dog from back home. So it was just crazy to be able to, go through all that with him, be one of the only 3 freshmen actually playing on this team. That, I mean, we went undefeated. We ended up winning, like, the PSAC championship, like I said. And just to be able to say, like, we played that season. We were actually like involved in some of the wins and like he balled out. He ended up winning freshman of the year and stuff. So.
Have you ever had a losing season? Because I'm starting to see a trend here.
Honestly,
like a lot of winning.
Maybe in high school, I don't know. We went
DB3 equals wins.
I think actually no. There was one year at IUP. Man, I think it was my junior year. We didn't go to the playoffs. That was like the only year we didn't go to the playoffs. That was a tough year for us at IUP, but. I mean, sure, we bounced back after that. That was my last losing season, actually. I will say.
Well, so I've seen the career stats. Like we did the research in that. 176 receptions, 2,884 receiving yards, 38 receiving touchdowns, 135 rushing attempts, 561 rushing yards, and 12 rushing touchdowns. Like, for old fans, it's like Cordell Stewart / you know what I mean? Like, and that's a Pittsburgh. There's a Pittsburgh guy for that, but. Just running, receiving, I mean, just doing it all. And you do the same thing here, really.
Just try to be – I mean, I just try to be an athlete out there. And when I came into IUP, I was actually a running back, but I felt like at college, like I wasn't big enough to be a running back. Shoot, I was only maybe like 178, I might have been like 185 actually my freshman year. But still, like, you're coming up to D2. I'm a little guy coming from high school, like double A. I'm thinking like, man, I gotta add some weight. I gotta get bigger, this and that. But I mean, we definitely blended right into that offense well. But it was that shift going into my sophomore year when they moved me to receiver, and I had that freedom one-on-one with the guy outside. I had that space to work with. That's when I really started to, like hone in on my talents with that and stuff, and like, unlock some things that I feel like kind of propelled me.
So what did you have to do to go from running back to wide receiver? Obviously, you had to work on routes, which you probably already done as a running back to some extent. And then obviously,
didn't have to take on those blitzing linebackers anymore, though.
Yeah, and strong hands, all that stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't much because, like I said, I've been an athlete, so like, I also played receiver in college or high school. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So like, I've been there before. Obviously, not at the college level, but I played a little receiver in high school, so it was more of just like, I'm back in space. I'm running these routes one-on-one. Yes, I had to clean up like my route running. That was huge. But other than that, it was, again, just going to go and getting that ball, like just being an athlete, making a play. And so it wasn't much, but like I took, like I really, I stayed up there that year actually. So like when I made the transition my sophomore year, I ended up staying up at college that whole summer and just working. I remember it was like the first year I really locked in like with this stuff. And I mean, I was up there the whole summer by myself some days, like for just weeks, just working at the facilities. I'm getting with the coach. I'm doing whatever I needed to just make sure, like, because I wanted to play, man. I didn't want to be like just someone, just on the team. So,
well, it's funny you say that because we weeks before tonight, Adam and I do this, the homework and that sort of things. And I remember saying to Adam, Duane's resume is ridiculous.
It is.
It is. So you got a lot to be proud of, man. And you put in the work for it. That's for damn sure. So
I appreciate that.
So I want to talk. You go through this. Obviously, you get all this recognition and accolades. Is the thought there, after your senior season, to continue to keep going, or what was your thought process in terms of I want to do this, I want to be a professional, I want to get paid to do this?
Of course. I mean, shoot, I think my junior year, because my brother had just, I think he had just gotten, like, he signed in a UDA, he has signed with the Steelers, I think, but he was undrafted, but he had signed.
Okay.
And like, it was so motivating for me because I'm like, I played with bro, like I grew up with him, seeing him sign it, make his dreams become a reality. It's like, it's right there. I mean, I can do it too. So it stuck with me my junior year, especially after a big season coming off my sophomore year. Like I lit it up my sophomore year, and I'm like, okay, if I can keep stacking this type of seasons, this might become real. So you start to talk to like coaches bringing in a couple NFL scouts here and there, and you're talking with them. It's small talk, but you're still talking with them. So you're kind of getting that feeling like, man, this is becoming a little more real.
Any kind of connection is a good connection.
Exactly. I mean, networking, shoot, that'll do so much for you. But just like going on every year, it just got more real. And like I tried to just become more like dialed in, whether it was working more, just learning the game more, trying to clean my routes up, getting faster, just doing whatever I had to do.
Speaking of which, did you get faster this year? I feel like you are.
I might have. I don't know. I feel like I was moving last year, but if I look faster, I'm not going to deny it.
Listen, to me, it showed up at camp.
Yeah.
I mean, you ran. I mean, you just flat out ran from pretty much the whole team on several occasions during training camp. So I kind of picked up on that.
I mean, yeah, and I ain't gonna lie. I was doing a lot of running this off season, just trying to stay ready. Obviously, I was signed with the Memphis that until that horror deal happened.
Yep.
But I was training. I was getting after running a lot. Like I was running miles. I was on the treadmill. I was doing like sprinting intervals, stuff like that. So, I mean, I enjoy it though too. Like,
well, that helps.
I enjoy loving. I can just go run a couple miles here and there, and like,
runners.
It's nice. I don't know what it is.
I do my running. Hey, him and I are former linemen. We do our running at like 15-second bursts.
Oh, I'm already knowing.
No, I do my run to the grocery store. It's
so you go through and do a pro day and on all that stuff, and then talk about the process of like getting ready for either the draft or to try to find a team and all that kind of stuff. How that went.
Going to D2, obviously, like at a school at IUP, we weren't able to host our own pro day, like, or get the outcome we wanted to where we're gonna see like 5 to 10 NFL scouts there. They had other schedules and stuff like that. So the goal is to really just try to get to a school where you can get some exposure. So, but some of these schools, they're not just accepting guys to come to their pro day because they have their athletes.
That's right.
Right, of course, yeah.
Eyes on their athletes.
Yeah, Hobbs told a pretty good story about that, where he ended up going, I think, to San Diego State, and he was out in Montana.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, like pretty far away. Yeah,
trying to get your foot in the door anywhere that will accept you. And for me, it was one of these FCS schools.
Nebraska, excuse me.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
it was one of these FCS schools that I could just like knowing they'd have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 scouts there. Anywhere I could get like some eyes on me. So I ended up actually doing my pro day at Youngstown.
Okay.
It was a little 2-hour drive. I drove up there actually like 2 days before. I was getting some throws in with the quarterback that was also performing at that pro day. So I was able to get up there and just kind of, get a feel for everything going on up there. But it was a process that I wish I could do again because I feel like at that time I was holding myself back because I was like, I don't know, like when you're doing something for the first time, you don't really know what's
Yep, I do.
like what to expect out of it, so you're kind of holding back. You're not really just
Well,
letting go.
right. You're worried about making mistakes and doing it
Yes,
right versus
you're doing
Yeah.
stuff very cautiously, and
Yep.
that's something I wish I would have just let go because
Mm.
I feel like I was so like worried about the extra things
Mhm.
because like I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot. Not a lot of people make it there, so like you got to do everything right,
Yeah.
Right.
to catch their attention, to just get your foot in the door. So, and I feel like I was so tight because of that. And I mean, shoot, I'm coming from a D2 school, so I'm already fighting a little.
Right, that's right.
I got to do more. I got to stick out even a little more. So, just stuff like that. I feel like I was so tensed up sometimes or tight. Even at my pro day, I had training for that. I was in Orlando, like I said. I went to my uncle's. I trained down there for 8 weeks up until my pro day. And I was moving, man. I was clocking times that I wanted. I was doing good. And then like the last 2 weeks, I had ended up like doing something to my hamstring, and it was devastating because like I only had 2 weeks to kind of get back. Like I had a week to like. I think I was there for 1 week, and then I flew home, and then I had a 1 week before my pro day. So I had 2 weeks, but I was also doing some traveling in between.
Yeah, that might as well be like a day because hamstrings take forever.
Yeah,
it doesn't take much for a huge setback.
And it was tough because like it was just in the back of my head, and I won't say I was probably like 89%. I was around 80% because I could still feel it there, but it wasn't.
But you weren't able to go 100.
Yeah, and it's like when you're just like just not the whole way there, and
you're just doing it and not doing it well.
And it's tough because it's like this is the biggest opportunity of my life. So just having that, like that's just something I wish I could do all over again.
Speaking of opportunity, obviously you mentioned a few minutes ago going through the UFL journey, we'll call it. How were you able to turn the page and accept it, I guess, in terms of how it played out? And was there ever?
It's a business thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely not based on.
No, it's not
the thought of you. It's
nothing
just
personal.
Yeah.
So how quickly, and what other avenues or what other choices did you have versus coming back here to Albany this year? Was it a fairly quick decision for you to say, all right, I'm going to run it back once that happened?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm grateful to always have like the Firebirds here, and I mean, it was tough to just say, okay, that's what it is. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's a business, and at any point, I mean, that stuff can change.
Yeah, it did a few weeks ago for Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Like it, and that could go either ways. Like you get that call to come up, you get that call to come down. Like you just got to be prepared for whatever. So and so happy for Sam, and we're just hoping he gets to be able to showcase what he
I
can
hope
do
so
because. I mean, I feel like they let him in. They're not going to want to take him out.
No, I think I agree with you, and I think I almost wonder if that's part of the reason why he hasn't played yet.
Yeah. So it's like it was tough, but at the same time, it was like, okay, well, it's the reality. So I gotta lock in with whatever is gonna be next. So knowing Coach Ware was gonna take me back, that was awesome. Just to have them, still open to having me. And, just off of last year, what we did, and I mean, that year was just awesome. Yeah. And obviously I wanted to run it back. I'm talking to Sam and the guys, and they're all ready to come back. So it's like, let's go do it again.
Yeah. Now, with him moving on, not moving on like it's a bad thing, but him moving up, did that change your goals or mood at all?
No, I mean, if anything, kind of like when we heard that he had got the call and was up, it was like, especially for like some of us who, like we're signed there anyways. It's like, dang, maybe it's still, it's still in the book. So it was kind of like a motivating thing, I would say. I mean, yes, it hurt to lose him, obviously, just because like we signed, lost it,
and then I know
back,
it's
and then he leaves
it's
again.
back and forth. Yeah.
So it's annoying, but it's like,
Yeah.
But we're happy for him. But at the same time, it's also motivating for the guys that like this isn't completely over.
Like they wanted you to move. The next level wanted you to be there, and it just worked out that the business of it kind of screwed up the process.
Yeah.
But it's like, got to be motivating to be like, hey, I know I can go. I can go and move up.
It's like, okay, the eyes are still on us. So
it's not feeling hopeless. Where now is a chance to prove yourself again.
Yeah.
Especially, and again, like with that change, that affords other people other opportunities. So for me, I think it allows you to have that opportunity again, especially if you're going to continue to have the quarterback play that you've had.
Yeah.
And like I think the sky's the limit for you guys as a group anyway. So really now it's just about stacking wins, and
that's it.
This Saturday would be potentially win
16
in a row.
16 in a row.
Yeah, we're 15-0 right now. I was just talking to the guys about that last night. It's crazy when you say that. Like we're 15-0.
Wait, if we had you next week, I'd ask you how it would be to play Zeke again. With the Kentucky, but we're in Washington. I know.
But after the game.
All right. Yes. Yeah. We'll ask you next.
Hopefully, I got a positive answer.
All right. So one last thing we want to do. We did this a couple of times. We did like a random rapid fire 30-second questions, kind of like a this or that. I'm sure you did that. Doing the icebreakers when you're in school and stuff like that. So I'm going to start the clock, and I'm just going to ask you just 1 or 2 word answers, and then the buzzer will go off. It'll be like a shot clock. It will be like LeBron at the end of the shot clock. All right, give me 1 second. Ready, and okay. Favorite movie?
Harry Potter.
Excellent. Favorite food?
Cheeseburger.
Hot dogs or hamburgers? Well, you just said cheeseburger.
Hamburger for sure.
Who has the best playlist on the team?
I want to say me, or I'll say Kobe because he's always on the ups.
Okay. Out of your teammates, who would you have on a 3-on-3 basketball team?
Out of my teammates.
Who would be your?
Oh man.
We'll answer the last one.
I'll say me. Well, Sam's not here. I would have picked him. If he counts, I'll say Sam. But if not, I'll say, give me. Jeez, this shouldn't be that hard. But it's like I'm trying to think. Who are my hoopers? Like.
Here, let me put on the timer. Let me put on the timer again. Hold on, there you go. Go ahead.
I like Trey. Trey on my team, and we need a big man. So I'll go with maybe
Prince has got to be able to ball, no?
Yeah, maybe. I'll go with Prince.
All right, that was a really long answer. What's the best item you got in a adopt a player flock support bag?
Cookies. I love cookies. Cookies.
All right, and one thing most people wouldn't know about you.
I'm a nerd, bro. Like I love movies. I love Marvel. Like all I want to do is watch movies.
That's a good man. He ended it. Perfect timing. All right, Duane, we appreciate your time. Thank you for waiting to get on. I know it's been a long couple days traveling and everything, and we look forward to watching you guys Saturday. Hopefully, come back with another win. Come back to Albany May 9th at the MVP Arena against the Kentucky Zeke Rose and the Kentucky Barrels. We will see you guys next week, I believe. We haven't decided yet.
Yes, no, we're going to. We got to set that up.
We got to set up next week, but we're definitely going to be here next week. Maybe not at IHOP, but thanks to IHOP and the people here for helping us get set up, and that was awesome. And I'll do an applause for that. And thank you guys for coming out to IHOP here in Clifton Park to watch us. There we go. There's the applause. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.
Thank you guys for having me as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.